There are many magical things in this world. And one of the most magical things I know of is an empty theater. Standing alone on the stage, looking out into the darkened auditorium, is to place
yourself at the mercy of time, sound, and overwhelming memory. The performers, long gone. The music, we can recall. The dances, vanished footsteps in the ever-changing sands of time.
Tennis, anyone?
The art of theater is an ephemeral art. When the audience goes and the actors leave the stage, there is only memory. But in a darkened theater, alone on an empty stage, we can have them all back. The names that are theater history. The lovely Marilyn Miller, whom Ziegfeld called a breath of springtime. The exotic and vivacious Irene Bordoni. And the darling of Paris, the legendary Miss Stanguette.
the greats, as well as the young and struggling hopefuls, all the players who have stepped on this stage and thrilled over 2 generations of theatergoers. And it all started 64 years ago on a windy, blustery night.
The year is 1911. William Howard Taft is in the White House, although next year he'll be replaced by Woodrow Wilson.
Women's skirts are getting shorter, but you still can't really see the ankle because they're all wearing high-button boots, and a good thing, too, since a lot of the ladies are marching, demanding the right to vote.
Movies are getting to be a generally accepted form of entertainment. Max Sennett is turning out his one-reelers over there in Brooklyn. Automobiles are getting more and more modern. The wooden body of the Model T Ford was replaced this year by an all-new metal body. But if you need a new fender now, I'm afraid it'll cost you $2.50. A young composer named Irving Berlin has written a snappy new tune called Alexander's Ragtime Band.
And a brand new theater is opening on Broadway tonight. March 20th, 1911. The Schubert's New Winter Garden. The wind is whipping down Broadway, and as the fashionably dressed audience hurries into the lavish new theater and settles down to look at the program, the lights dim, and the curtain rises on the very first show ever to play on this stage, Jerome Kern's La Belle Paree. The opening number was called Edinburgh Wriggle.
Footman, set your bragging up, but I got just one dance for me. Others are an imitation of the genuine sensation that the Edinburgh Wriggle can give. Footman, it's a hypnotizing, mesmerizing dance for across the sea. Step your giggle, learn to wiggle through the Edinburgh Wriggle, then lie right down and deep. It's a hypnotizing, mesmerizing dance across the sea. Step your giggle, learn to wiggle through the Edinburgh Wriggle, then lie right down and hoot-man, 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 hoot-man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Winter Garden's Scrapbook, the 29th annual celebration of the American Theater Wing's Tony Awards, presented by the League of New York Theaters and Producers and brought to you live from the stage of the Winter Garden Theater on Broadway in New York City.
Well, La Belle Paree got the theater open, but not much more than that. The theater critic on Leslie's Weekly, in his review of May 18th, 1911, referred to it as that travesty at the Winter Garden. So it only lasted a few months and was replaced in very rapid succession by the Revue of Revues and Vera Violetta. But there was a young singer in the chorus of La Belle Paree who so impressed the management with his personality that they hired him again to appear in Vera Violetta. This was the beginning of an association with the Winter Garden that was to last until the early 30s. The young man was Al Jolson, and with him in Vera Violetta was an 18-year-old beauty who had already attracted the attention of Broadway sophisticates. She was to become a legend in her own time. Her name, Miss Mae West.
All these productions had just been marking time in the life of the Winter Garden. It was not until July 22nd, 1912, that this theater got it all together. With the passing show of 1912, the first of what were to be 10 passing shows to play on this stage. They all had roughly the same format, lots of good-looking girls, fabulous scenery, special effects, and sketches that had the customers of that day rolling in the aisles. For example, here's the custom dock scene from the passing show of 1912.
Hello there! Hey, come over here. Hey, where did you come from?
I just come from the boat there.
Well, you got anything to declare?
I'm all right.
What do you mean you're all right?
I'm all right, I declare.
Hey, you know who I am?
No, who are you?
I'm an inspector here, the son of Uncle Sam.
You're a son of your Uncle Sam, are
Yeah.
you? Then you must be your own cousin.
Say, you're pretty fresh now. Come on, get out your trunk.
What, are we going swimming?
No, not your swimming trunks. You got to pay duty on your trunks, so you can't stay in the country.
Well, I'd rather stay in the city. I don't like it in the country.
No, come on now, get out your trunk.
I haven't any.
Well, who has?
My boss, he's still on the boat there.
Go on, now, what is your name?
Same like my father.
What is your father's name?
Same like mine.
What does your boss call you when he wants to pay you your salary?
He doesn't have to call me. I'm always the first one there.
Christian name?
Murphy.
Born?
Of course I was born.
No, when were you born?
About 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, really? Where?
Ireland.
What part?
All of me.
Say, do you have any relatives here?
Well, I got a twin brother 2 years older than I am.
You have a twin brother 2 years older than you are.
Well, 3 years older.
Oh,
but
okay. Business?
Rotten.
No. What was your occupation? What was your occupation in the old country?
I was a jockey.
A jockey?
Yes.
Did you ride any winners?
No, only horses.
Only
Come
horses.
with me. Well, that's what they were laughing at in those days. 1912 passed, and 1913 brought its version of the passing show. The passing shows always had their own line of glorious girls who rivaled Ziegfeld's, and the Winter Garden extravaganzas always had a theme. For instance, along came 1914 and the beginning of the First World War in Europe, and American audiences heard for the first time, "It's a long, long way to Tipperary."
To Tipperary, to the sweetest boy I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there.
The next 3 years saw 7 musical revues come and go in this theater, and the one artist who is probably most closely identified with these early days at the Winter Garden, whose personality kept audiences coming back over and over again, even on Sundays, wanting to get closer and closer to him. The man they built the ramp for, so he could get right out there in the middle of the crowds who adored him. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Al Jolson.
I give a world to be among the folks in the IX. I even know my mammy waiting for me, praying for me down by the Swanee. The folks up north will see me no more when I get to that Swanee shore. folks at home. Swanee, how I love you, my dear old Swanee. The folks up north won't see me no more when I get to that Swanee shore. Wait a minute, folks, wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet. When you croon a tune from the
Also from
heart.
Jolson's biggest hit during the early days, 1918. It was a show called Sinbad, and Jolson played Sinbad's sidekick, a fella called Inbad. And about that ramp, it stretched all the way from the stage through the audience to the back of the theater.
And so many beautiful showgirls passed up and down it that the Broadway wise guys nicknamed it the Bridge of Thighs.
Fresh from vaudeville, whose dancing feet started on this stage, the road to stardom, which was to lead to Lady Be Good, Funny Face, and the Bandwagon, and for him to movies, and a permanent place in the hearts of audiences everywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the passing show of 1918, Mr. Fred Astaire.
Good evening. I was 19 years old when I first stepped onto the Winter Garden stage, but tonight I remember a lot of things about that show quite clearly. I remember a number my little sister Adele and I did. We were covered with feathers, dressed up as birds. It was called Twit, 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 you'd better do your little bit, bit, bit. Yes, that was it. It was one of two numbers in the show which made reference to World War I, which seemed to be almost over. The other was called War Stamps, and no one remembers that one. I'll tell you what I do remember, though, a song called Smiles. It's become something of a classic. And, of course, that ramp and those lovely girls. The glorious Jessie Reed, the beautiful Nita Nolly, who went on to become the very famous band for the movies, and other newcomers, young and pretty hopefuls, just starting out. Those are nice memories.